It's time we finally take a look back at Killing Floor 2, one of the best wave-based horde shooters of all time, and one of my most viewed videos of all time. A lot has happened since my last Killing Floor 2 video, and there's a lot to get into. There's been a lot of updates, events, content, cosmetics. I've made a lot of progress and big announcements like Killing Floor 3. Even if you're watching this after Killing Floor 3 came out, let's see if Killing Floor 2 is still worth playing. I'm sure I don't have to explain to you that Killing Floor 2 is a Z-killing wave-based FPS where you earn money for guns similar to COD Zombies. Except there's a boss at the end, so it's not endless, unless you play endless mode. I go in more detail in my first review, but this time we gotta talk about big boy stuff like prestiging, gold guns, and what it's like at this point of the game. Something I'm really curious about is everybody's favorite perk. At 300 hours, I've made a lot of progress and prestiged every single perk. I even got Commando to Prestige 2 and Survivalist to Prestige 4. My next favorite is probably Support or Demolitionist. I know I spread myself thin, but I enjoy every perk. And I know some of you are gonna flex on me with your Prestige 5 perks and thousands of hours of playtime, but I feel you. Talk yo shit. That's how I feel about my gold guns. I have every single starting weapon gold. Look how shiny and clean they are. Luckily, you're still able to flex on other players because this game still seems to be doing just fine. The player count looks about the same as last time, maybe even better because of the Killing Floor 3 hype. I'm sure the player count will rise or drop after that game comes out, but you'll have no problem finding a match for a long time. I'm mostly playing solo right now, and you can find a lobby for every difficulty. Last time I was mostly playing on normal and hard for the achievements, but this time we're looking at suicidal and hell on earth. These difficulties remind you how intense and action-packed this game is. There are heart-pounding moments, and if you consider all the gore, the metal playing in the background, the slow motion, this is still one of the most badass games. And one of the more intense moments I didn't really mention last time was the bosses. I think the idea and designs of them are pretty good, and it's nice having a real end of the match compared to COD Zombies, but goddamn do I hate some of them. Like Hans Volter is pretty cool, not too easy, but not too tough. Unlike the Abomination, he's a pushover and I know I'll win if I see him. That's why I like him. King Fleshpound is pretty cool too, similar to Hans, a good balance. But man, screw the Patriarch and the Matriarch. Okay, they aren't that bad. I just hate having to hide behind walls to avoid getting laser beamed. I'd rather run away from a boss like a man. These bosses can be the ultimate decider if you beat a map or not, so you'll have to have a strategy most of the time. I prefer to camp in these type of games, but the gameplay is pretty fast, so you can't always do that, especially not for the bosses. That's why I like the Sentinel to make camping more viable. My dirty combo is using the Sentinel and the HRG Locust. That's why I use the Survivalist a lot. They nerfed it, so maybe it's not as dirty, but I still like it. That combo helped me get a lot of achievements. Speaking of achievements, this is one of the things I'm proud of because not only do I have 300 hours of playtime, I also have 300 achievements. And if you're an achievement hunter in this game, you know that means beating every map on every difficulty, including Hell on Earth. Now, I don't have every single achievement, but my goal was getting 300 achievements for 300 hours, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were adding new achievements because there were new maps and new updates, which is crazy to believe. This game came out in 2016 and was still getting content in 2023. There was an update in October with a new map and a cool new pistol for every perk. I'm sure some of you are wondering, when's the next big update? Well, that update in October had an event called Last Han Standing, and they described it as the final assault, so it looks like we got our last big update. Press F to pay respects. I don't see this confirmed, but I'm 99% sure this is the case. There's been little patches and hotfixes, but I think they're finally done milking this tender game. It's been fun with all the events, new weekly challenges, and not as good updates. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate this game getting updates compared to nothing, but I know a lot of you were tired of the HRG weapons and community maps, and I can see why. The updates were getting repetitive and predictable, but they did keep me on the game longer. It was just at a point that most of you were happy to hear that they were done updating the game. A lot of us just wanted Killing Floor 3 for a long time now, and I'm sure the cosmetics and the monetization didn't help with that. I couldn't imagine regularly spending money on the updates for weapons and cosmetics. In June of 2023, they went all in with the cosmetics, releasing the Cosmetic Season Pass, which actually seems like a good deal on sale. Like, don't get me wrong, I have a lot of DLCs and cosmetics. I just recommend being a smart shopper and buying them on sale. You can also buy on the market for some better deals, including this free and this very cheap golden skin. Not to mention that you can get Killing Floor 2 for about $5 or less, and it's not even that hard to run, so it's very accessible. I know a lot of you watch me when this game is on sale, so listen to me and buy this game. Nothing wrong with buying the base game, but these updates and monetization had some of us worried, especially that cosmetic season pass. But not too long after that, they announced Killing Floor 3. That is what we finally have been waiting for. After about 8 years, they finally are turning this series into a trilogy with Killing Floor 3. Now, I don't get hyped for new games anymore. Trust me, I really don't. The last game I was looking forward to is Payday 3, and the launch was disappointing, but Killing Floor 3 is the game I'm really hyped for. So far, it seems like we get a new Killing Floor game every 7 to 8 years, so the hype is justified. But that's why having a good launch is important. I know having a shitty launch is the trendy thing AAA developers do these days because stupid consumers consume it anyway, but it's worse when you've been waiting nearly a decade. All of you in the future, way after this video came out, can tell me all about Killing Floor 3, especially how it compares to Killing Floor 2. I just hope it has an impressive presentation with new features. It'd probably be too much to ask for the amazing and creepy atmosphere of Killing Floor 1. It seems like they're going with a more slightly futuristic vibe like Killing Floor 2, but I'm open to that if it's a good game. Either way, I'm sure you'll be hearing from me when it comes out. But if that isn't enough to hold you over, or if you want even more Killing Floor 2 content, you'll always have the workshop. The custom maps and community have always been great to this game. Some of the custom maps are as classic and popular as some of the regular maps. It's similar to looking for custom maps on COD Zombies. There's a lot of different themes and ideas, some from other games. Believe it or not, there's still some new maps coming out. Even if they aren't the most impressive or original, there's still some good ones. I remember when I used to look for the best and the newest maps while looking forward to the next update, achievement hunting, trying to prestige all my perks, learning all the new maps with a friend and being a stupid noob. I guess all those good old days are behind me. Well, I'm still a noob, but we all know what it's like reminiscing on the early days after a long journey. I was playing this game daily for a while, on and off, but after getting nearly every achievement and prestiging every perk, I feel like I've done enough. I mean, I could keep going if I really wanted to because there's still a lot of custom maps to play and I didn't fully max out my perks, but unless there's a real reason to, I'm mostly done with this game. And that's where you guys come in. Since my first Killing Floor 2 video did so good, I made one for Killing Floor 1 and you guys liked it, especially the short. So I'd be happy making more Killing Floor content to keep me on the game. Drop a comment if you guys want that, or let me know how many hours you have on Killing Floor 2. After nearly a decade, I want to see what the community is working with. You also might want to leave a comment because I'm putting my favorite comment on the screen from my last Killing Floor 2 video to give you guys a bit of a spotlight for supporting me. Killing Floor 2 is a game a lot of us have been invested in, whether you love the game or want to see what's next in the series. It holds a special place in our hearts. I remember my friend first showing me this game back in 2016, and now it's one of my most played games. I enjoy all the maps, all the guns, the gore, the enemy variety, the gameplay, the perks, even the graphics and atmosphere, even though some people hate on them, and the fact that you can enjoy all of this with a friend or online. I have very little criticism with this game, and I mostly just wanted to talk about what happened since last time and my progress. I'm sure most of you want to criticize my crosshair because that's blasphemy in the Killing Floor community. I might as well call the Zeds zombies at this point to piss all of you off. But let's end things on a good note. Killing Floor 2 is one of the best zombie games of all time, standing between the original classic Killing Floor 1 and the future of the series Killing Floor 3. Peace.